It was a warm summer afternoon, the kind where the sun hangs lazily in the sky and the air feels heavy with heat. Three kids, Sam, Mia, and Jake, were riding their bikes along a quiet country road. The road twisted through fields of golden wheat that swayed gently in the breeze, and the only sounds were the chirping of crickets and the occasional hum of a distant tractor. For Sam, Mia, and Jake, this was freedom. No school, no homework, just the open road ahead of them. Sam was the oldest of the trio, a thoughtful boy with messy brown hair who always seemed to have a plan. He loved adventure, and often dragged his younger sister Mia into his schemes. Mia, on the other hand, was more cautious. She preferred reading books or drawing pictures in her notebook, but she couldn't resist joining Sam when he promised something exciting. Then there was Jake, their best friend from down the street. Jake was the jokester of the group, always ready with a silly comment or a laugh, even if it sometimes got him into trouble. The three of them had been racing each other for miles, laughing and shouting as they sped past rows of tall trees and empty barns. But as they rounded a bend in the road, they suddenly slowed down. Ahead of them, parked awkwardly on the shoulder, was a car with its hazard lights blinking. A man stood beside it, leaning against the door and looking frustrated. His hands were smudged with dirt, and he kept glancing at the back of the car, like he was trying to figure out what to do next. "Should we stop?" Mia asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. She didn't know the man, and stopping felt like an interruption to their fun day. "We can't just leave him here," Sam replied firmly. "He looks like he needs help." Jake shrugged. "Yeah, but we don't even know how to fix a car. What are we supposed to do?" Sam thought for a moment before nodding. "We don't need to fix it, we just need to see if he's okay. Come on." Reluctantly, Mia and Jake followed Sam as he pedaled closer to the stranded vehicle. As they approached, the man looked up and gave them a small wave. Up close, they could see that he wasn't very old, probably in his late 30s. But his face carried lines of worry. His shirt was wrinkled and his tie hung loosely around his neck, making him look like someone who had been through a long day already. "Hey there," the man said with a tired smile. "Sorry to bother you kids, but I seem to have run into a bit of trouble." "What happened?" Sam asked, hopping off his bike and leaning it against the side of the road. "I've got a flat tire," the man explained, pointing to the rear passenger side of the car. Sure enough, the tire was completely deflated, sagging against the ground like a pancake. "And unfortunately, I don't have a spare." Mia frowned. "Why don't you call someone to come fix it?" The man sighed and pulled out his phone, shaking it slightly. "No signal out here. I tried calling earlier, but nothing's working." Jake glanced around at the empty fields stretching in every direction. "There's probably not much out here besides cows and cornfields," he joked, earning a nudge from Mia. "Well, maybe we can help," Sam suggested. "There's a garage not too far from here. I think I saw it last week while we were biking. We could go tell them about your car." The man's eyes lit up with hope. "You'd really do that for me? That would be amazing. Thank you so much." Mia hesitated. "Are you sure it's safe? We don't even know you." The man chuckled softly. "Fair point. My name is Mr. Carter. I'm just passing through town. And honestly, I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate. This is my first time driving these roads, and I didn't expect anything like this to happen." Something about the way he spoke made the kids feel like they could trust him. There was sincerity in his voice, and his gratitude seemed genuine. After a brief discussion, they decided to help. "Okay, we'll go find the garage," Sam said, confidently. "Just wait here and we'll be back as soon as we can." Mr. Carter nodded and thanked them again. As the kids hopped back onto their bikes, Mia turned to Sam. "Do you really think this is a good idea?" "It's fine," Sam reassured her. "We're helping someone. Isn't that what we're supposed to do?" Jake grinned. "Besides, it's kind of exciting. Who knows? Maybe this will turn into some epic adventure." With that, they took off down the road, leaving Mr. Carter behind. None of them realized just how true Jake's words would become. The ride to the garage was longer than they expected, especially under the blazing sun. By the time they arrived, sweat dripped down their faces, and their legs ached from pedaling. The garage was small and looked like it hadn't been updated in years. An old sign above the entrance read, Gus's Auto Repair, and inside they found a grizzled mechanic named Gus, tinkering with a rusty pickup truck. "Excuse me, sir," Sam called out, stepping inside. "We need your help." Gus looked up, wiping grease-stained hands on a rag. "What's going on, kid?" "There's a man with a flat tire a few miles down the road," Sam explained quickly. "He doesn't have a spare, and he can't get cell service out there. Can you help him?" Gus scratched his chin thoughtfully. "A flat tire, huh? All right, let me grab my tools. Hop in the van, you can show me where he is." The kids climbed into the back of Gus's beat-up van, which smelled faintly of oil and rubber. As they bounced along the bumpy road, Jake leaned forward excitedly. "This feels like something out of a movie. Do you think Mr. Carter will give us a reward?" Mia rolled her eyes. "Don't be greedy. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do." Yeah, Jake muttered, though he couldn't hide his grin. When they returned to where Mr. Carter waited, he looked both relieved and surprised to see them. "You actually did it," he said, shaking his head in disbelief. "I wasn't sure if you'd come back." "Of course we came back," Sam replied. "We said we'd help." As Gus worked on replacing the tire, Mr. Carter struck up a conversation with the kids. He asked about their families, their hobbies, and their dreams for the future. At first, his questions seemed normal, but then he began asking things like, "Do you believe in possibilities beyond what we see? And what would you do if given the chance to explore the universe?" The kids exchanged puzzled glances but answered honestly, thinking it was just idle curiosity. Once the tire was fixed, Gus packed up his tools and drove off, leaving the kids alone with Mr. Carter. Before parting ways, Mr. Carter handed them a small envelope. "For your trouble," he said with a cryptic smile. Curious, the kids opened it after waving goodbye and gasped. Inside was a handwritten note along with a shiny golden key attached to a tag that read, "Your journey begins tonight." None of them knew it yet, but their lives were about to change forever. After Gus drove off, the kids stood by the side of the road staring at the envelope in Sam's hand. The golden key gleamed faintly in the sunlight, catching Jake's eye as he squinted at it. "What is this supposed to mean?" he asked, scratching his head. Mia leaned closer, her brow furrowed. "Your journey begins tonight? That sounds weird." Sam turned the envelope over in his hands, examining it carefully. It was plain white with no markings except for the note inside. "Maybe it's some kind of prank," he suggested, though his tone betrayed a hint of doubt. Jake snorted. "Yeah, because random strangers handing out mysterious keys happens all the time." "Well, what else could it be?" Mia countered. "It's not like aliens are going to show up or something." The three of them laughed nervously, but deep down none of them believed it was just a joke. There was something about Mr. Carter that felt different, something they couldn't quite put their finger on. He had seemed nice enough, sure, but there was also an air of mystery about him. His questions about possibilities beyond Earth and exploring the universe still lingered in their minds. "Let's take it home and figure it out later," Sam finally said, slipping the envelope into his pocket. "We can decide what to do after dinner." Reluctantly, Mia and Jake agreed, and they hopped back onto their bikes, heading toward Sam and Mia's house. As they rode, Jake kept glancing over his shoulder, half expecting Mr. Carter to reappear or some other strange thing to happen. But the road remained empty, and the fields stretched endlessly around them. When they arrived at Sam and Mia's house, their mom greeted them with a warm smile. "How was your ride?" she asked, setting a plate of cookies on the kitchen table. "It was fine," Sam replied quickly, grabbing a cookie before sitting down. "But something weird happened." Their mom raised an eyebrow. "Weird how?" Sam hesitated, unsure how much to tell her. If he mentioned the golden key and the cryptic note, she'd probably think they were making things up. Instead, he settled for a simpler version of the story. "We helped a guy with a flat tire, and he gave us this envelope as thanks. It's kind of strange." Curious, their mom reached out her hand. "Can I see it?" Sam pulled the envelope from his pocket and handed it over. Their mom opened it carefully, reading the note aloud. "Your journey begins tonight. That is odd." She examined the golden key, turning it over in her fingers. Do you know what it's for? All three kids shook their heads. Well, their mom said with a shrug, if it's important, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Just don't lose it. With that, she handed the envelope back to Sam and went back to preparing dinner. The kids exchanged glances, silently agreeing not to say anything more. They didn't want to risk being told it was all nonsense or having the key taken away. Later that evening, after dinner, the kids gathered in Sam's room to discuss the situation. The sun had set, casting long shadows across the walls, and the air felt cooler now that night had fallen. Sam placed the envelope on his desk and spread its contents out in front of them. So, what do we do with this? Mia asked, picking up the key and holding it up to the light. I don't know, Sam admitted, but maybe we should wait until tonight. The note says your journey begins tonight, so maybe something will happen then. Jake flopped onto Sam's bed, crossing his arms behind his head. Or maybe it's just a dumb riddle and nothing will happen. What if it's just a fancy paperweight? Mia rolled her eyes. You're such a pessimist. And you're too optimistic, Jake shot back with a grin. Before they could argue further, Sam interrupted. Let's just keep it simple. We'll hang on to the key and see if anything unusual happens tonight. If not, we'll forget about it. The others nodded in agreement, and they spent the rest of the evening playing board games and watching TV. Despite their attempts to act normal, however, none of them could shake the feeling that something big was coming. Around midnight, when the house was quiet and everyone else was asleep, Sam's phone buzzed softly on his nightstand. Startled, he grabbed it and saw an unknown number flashing on the screen. His heart raced as he answered the call. Hello? He whispered, trying not to wake anyone. Are you ready? Came a familiar voice. It was Mr. Carter. Ready for what? Sam stammered, sitting upright in bed. For your journey, Mr. Carter replied calmly, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Meet me at the edge of Willow Creek Park within the hour. Bring the key and your friends. Sam's mind spun. Wait, hold on. What journey? What are you talking about? Mr. Carter chuckled softly. All will be revealed soon. Don't be late. Before Sam could respond, the line went dead. For a moment, he sat frozen, staring at the phone in disbelief. Then, shaking off his shock, he tiptoed to Mia's room and gently woke her up. Mia, wake up, he whispered urgently. Mia groaned, rubbing her eyes. What is it? It's Mr. Carter. He just called me. He wants us to meet him at Willow Creek Park. Mia blinked, suddenly wide awake. What? Why? I don't know. He said something about our journey starting tonight. We have to bring the key, and Jake too. Mia frowned. This feels sketchy. Are you sure we should go? We don't have a choice, Sam insisted. He knows about the key, and he's expecting us. Besides, isn't this what we've been waiting for? To find out what this is all about? Mia sighed but nodded reluctantly. Together they crept downstairs and called Jake, who sounded both terrified and thrilled when they explained the situation. Within minutes, all three of them were sneaking out of their houses, clutching the golden key tightly. The walk to Willow Creek Park felt longer than usual, especially in the dark. The moon hung low in the sky, casting silvery light over the trees and casting eerie shadows on the ground. Every rustle of leaves made them jump, and every distant sound sent shivers down their spines. When they finally reached the park, they found Mr. Carter waiting near a large oak tree. He looked exactly the same as earlier that day, except now he carried a small lantern that cast a soft glow around him. You came, he said with a satisfied smile. Of course we came, Sam replied, trying to sound braver than he felt. What's going on? Why did you call us here? Mr. Carter gestured toward the base of the tree. Take a look for yourself. Confused, the kids stepped closer and noticed something they hadn't seen before. A hidden hatch embedded in the ground, partially covered by dirt and grass. It was almost invisible unless you knew where to look. What's that? Mia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. This, Mr. Carter said, is the beginning of your adventure. Insert the key. The kids exchanged nervous glances. Why should we trust you? Jake blurted out. Mr. Carter's expression softened. Because you already do. Deep down, you know I mean no harm. Trust yourselves and trust the kindness that brought you here today. After a moment of hesitation, Sam took a step forward and knelt beside the hatch. With trembling hands, he inserted the golden key into the lock. There was a soft click, and the hatch swung open, revealing a spiral staircase descending into darkness. The kids stared in awe, their hearts pounding. "Where does it lead?" Mia asked, her voice shaking. "Two answers," Mr. Carter replied, "and to a destiny far greater than you ever imagined." Without another word, he gestured for them to follow him. Against all logic, they obeyed, stepping into the unknown. As the kids descended the spiral staircase, the air grew cooler and damper. The faint glow of Mr. Carter's lantern barely illuminated their path, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Each step echoed softly in the silence, making the moment feel surreal. Sam led the way, gripping the golden key tightly in one hand while using his other to steady himself against the cold stone railing. Mia followed close behind, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and curiosity, while Jake brought up the rear, muttering under his breath about how this was either the coolest or the stupidest thing they'd ever done. "Where are we going?" Mia finally asked, breaking the tense silence. Her voice sounded small and shaky, almost swallowed by the darkness around them. "To a place where answers await," Mr. Carter replied cryptically, his tone calm but distant. He didn't turn to face them as he spoke, instead continuing to lead the way downward. Jake groaned. "That doesn't answer anything. Can you at least tell us what's at the bottom of these stairs?" Mr. Carter chuckled softly. "Patience, my young friends. All will be revealed soon enough." The group continued down the staircase for what felt like an eternity. Just when it seemed like they might never reach the end, the narrow passageway opened into a massive underground chamber. The sight that greeted them took their breath away. The room was enormous, far larger than any of them had expected, and it hummed with energy. Glowing screens lined the walls, displaying streams of data, maps of constellations, and images of strange planets and alien landscapes. In the center of the chamber stood a circular platform surrounded by holographic displays that shimmered and shifted like liquid light. Strange symbols floated in the air above the platform, pulsating gently as if alive. Machinery whirred quietly in the background, and soft blue lights bathed everything in an otherworldly glow. This isn't possible," Mia whispered, her voice trembling with awe. She stepped forward hesitantly, her gaze darting from one incredible detail to another. "What is this place?" Sam demanded, his voice steadier now. He looked at Mr. Carter, who stood near the platform with a satisfied smile on his face. "This," Mr. Carter said, spreading his arms wide, "is Project Horizon. It's one of many facilities hidden across Earth, designed to prepare humanity for contact with extraterrestrial civilizations." The kid stared at him, stunned. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Jake burst out laughing, clutching his sides. "Oh man, you really had me going there for a second. Good one, Mr. C. Seriously though, aliens, come on." But Mr. Carter didn't laugh. His expression remained serious and his piercing gaze locked onto Jake's. "I assure you this is no joke. Humanity stands on the brink of something extraordinary, and your role in it has already begun." Mia blinked rapidly, trying to process what she was hearing. "Wait, so aliens are real? And you're saying we're part of some kind of intergalactic mission?" "Not quite yet," Mr. Carter replied. "But you've been chosen because of your actions today. Your willingness to help someone in need demonstrated qualities essential for representing humanity during such monumental encounters." Sam frowned, still skeptical. "Chosen? By who? And why us? We're just kids." "Precisely," Mr. Carter said with a nod. "You see, humanity often underestimates the power of compassion and curiosity. These traits are invaluable when interacting with beings vastly different from ourselves. You three proved those qualities today when you helped me, a stranger, with my flat tire. That act of kindness triggered a series of events leading you here." Jake raised an eyebrow. "So, helping you fix your car was like a test? Are you some kind of alien recruiter or something?" "In a manner of speaking, yes," Mr. Carter admitted. Though I am human, I work closely with organizations dedicated to preparing Earth for first contact. Our planet has been selected as a sanctuary for a species fleeing a great threat. They seek refuge here, and humans must decide whether to welcome them or turn them away. Mia gasped. A species? As in, actual aliens? Mr. Carter nodded. Yes, but they are not coming peacefully, they are running for their lives. Their homeworld has fallen victim to an intergalactic menace and they have nowhere else to go. Earth represents their last hope. Sam crossed his arms, his mind racing. Okay, let's say we believe you. What exactly do you want us to do? You'll serve as ambassadors, Mr. Carter explained. You'll assist in bridging communication gaps between our species and theirs, while scientists and linguists will handle technical aspects. Your unique perspectives as compassionate individuals will play a critical role in fostering understanding and trust. Jake scratched his head. Ambassadors? Us? Don't you think that's a little, crazy? It may seem daunting, Mr. Carter acknowledged, but humanity needs people like you, young, open-minded, and brave to guide us through uncharted territory. This is not a decision to take lightly, however. If you agree to participate, your lives will change forever. The weight of his words hung heavy in the air. The kids exchanged uneasy glances, each grappling with the enormity of what they were being asked to do. Finally, Mia spoke up. What happens if we say no? Mr. Carter sighed. You would return to your normal lives and others would be chosen to take your place. However, I urge you to consider the opportunity before you. This is a chance to shape the future, not just for yourselves, but for all of humanity. Sam stepped forward, his expression resolute. I'm in. If this is real, and I mean really, real, then I want to help. Someone has to stand up for what's right. Mia hesitated a moment longer before nodding. Me too. If aliens are coming here looking for safety, then we owe it to them to try. Jake threw up his hands dramatically. Well, I guess I can't let you two have all the fun. Count me in, but only because this is officially the coolest thing that's ever happened to us. Mr. Carter smiled warmly. Excellent, you won't regret this decision. Over the next few weeks, the kids underwent intensive training alongside scientists, engineers, and linguists. They learned basic phrases in several alien languages, studied advanced technology, and practiced diplomatic skills. Despite their young age, they proved to be quick learners, impressing everyone around them. Through it all, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were part of something much bigger than themselves. Late at night, after long days of training, they would sit together in the facility's common area, staring at the holographic displays of distant galaxies and wondering what lay ahead. One evening, as they gazed at an image of a swirling nebula, Mia broke the silence. Do you think we're ready for this? I mean, we're just kids. What if we mess everything up? Sam shook his head. We'll figure it out. We've come this far, haven't we? Besides, Mr. Carter wouldn't have picked us if he didn't think we could handle it. Jake grinned. Yeah, and even if we screw up, at least we'll have one heck of a story to tell. Mia rolled her eyes but couldn't suppress a smile. You're impossible. Despite their doubts, they knew they had made the right choice. Helping strangers, even ones from another world, was simply the right thing to do. Little did they know, their greatest challenge was yet to come. The weeks of training flew by in a blur for Sam, Mia, and Jake. What started as an ordinary day helping a stranger had transformed into something beyond their wildest dreams, or nightmares, depending on how you looked at it. They spent hours, each day learning about alien languages, studying holographic maps of distant star systems, and practicing scenarios where they would act as Earth's representatives. The facility buzzed with activity, scientists and engineers rushing around, preparing for the arrival of the extraterrestrial visitors. At first, the kids struggled to keep up. Alien languages were nothing like anything they'd ever encountered. The sounds were strange, guttural, and sometimes musical, and the written symbols looked more like art than words. But they soon discovered that they had a knack for piecing things together. Sam's logical mind helped him grasp the structure of the languages quickly, while Mia's creativity allowed her to connect abstract ideas. Jake, despite his initial reluctance, proved surprisingly adept at mimicking alien tones and gestures, earning praise from the linguists. Beyond language, they learned about the aliens themselves, or at least what little was known. According to Mr. Carter and the team of researchers, these beings called themselves the Luminari. They hailed from a planet named Solara, located in a distant galaxy. Their civilization was advanced, peaceful, and deeply connected to the energy of their world. However, their home had been invaded by a hostile force, a shadowy species referred to only as the Voidborn. The Voidborn consumed entire planets, draining them of resources and leaving behind lifeless husks. The Luminari had managed to escape, but were now searching for a new sanctuary. They chose Earth because of its resilience, Mr. Carter explained during one of their sessions. Despite humanity's flaws, our ability to adapt and survive makes us unique. The Luminari believe we can coexist peacefully, but what if people don't want them here? Mia asked hesitantly. She had been thinking about this a lot lately. Humans weren't always kind to outsiders, even those from their own planet. How would they react to actual aliens? That's why you're so important, Mr. Carter replied. Your role isn't just to translate or explain, it's to build trust. You'll help show the Luminari that humanity is worth saving, and vice versa. As the days passed, the kids grew more confident in their abilities. Still, doubts lingered in the back of their minds. Were they really ready for this? Could 3 ordinary kids truly make a difference in something so monumental? One fateful evening, alarms blared throughout the facility, startling everyone. Red lights flashed overhead, casting an ominous glow over the corridors. Scientists rushed to their stations, speaking urgently into headsets. The kids exchanged nervous glances before sprinting toward the main control room, where Mr. Carter stood surrounded by monitors displaying live footage of the night sky. What's happening? Sam asked breathlessly. They're here, Mr. Carter said simply, his voice filled with both excitement and tension. On one of the screens, a fleet of sleek silver ships descended gracefully through Earth's atmosphere. Their hulls shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the moonlight. As they hovered above the horizon, Mia gasped. Are those the Luminari? Yes, Mr. Carter confirmed. They've arrived ahead of schedule. We need to prepare for first contact immediately. Jake swallowed hard. You mean, right now? Right now, Mr. Carter replied, firmly. Suit up, it's time. The kids were handed lightweight suits designed to protect them from potential environmental hazards. The suits were sleek and futuristic, equipped with communication devices and translation modules built into the helmets. As they suited up, their hearts raced with anticipation and fear. This was it, the moment they had been preparing for. Mr. Carter led them outside to a large open field near the facility, where the alien ships had landed. A crowd of scientists and officials gathered nearby, watching anxiously as the ships powered down. The air crackled with electricity, and a low hum filled the space. Slowly, a hatch opened on the largest ship, and a ramp extended downward. The kids held their breath as the first Luminari emerged. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, the beings were unlike anything they had imagined. Their skin glowed faintly, shifting colors like rippling water under sunlight. Their eyes were large and luminous, radiating intelligence and calmness. Instead of mouths, they had intricate patterns etched onto their faces that seemed to pulse with light whenever they communicated. They're beautiful, Mia whispered, awestruck. Sam nodded silently, unable to take his eyes off them. Jake, meanwhile, muttered, "This is officially the coolest thing I've ever seen." One of the Luminari stepped forward, raising a hand in what appeared to be a gesture of peace. Through their translation modules, a melodic voice echoed in their ears. "We thank you for your hospitality," the being said. Its tone was soothing, almost musical. "We seek refuge among your people. Will you accept us?" For a moment, no, one spoke. All eyes turned to Sam, Mia, and Jake. Though they were surrounded by adults, scientists, diplomats, and military personnel, it was clear that the decision rested with the kids. Sam took a deep breath and stepped forward, On behalf of humanity, we welcome you. We will do everything we can to help you. The Luminari tilted its head slightly, as if considering his words. Then, the glowing patterns on its face shifted, forming what could only be described as a smile. Your kindness honors us. Together we shall forge a new future. Cheers erupted from the human crowd, though the celebration was tempered by the gravity of the situation. The kids exchanged relieved smiles, knowing they had taken the first step toward bridging two vastly different worlds. Over the next few hours, the kids worked alongside the scientists to facilitate communication between the Luminari and the humans. They translated basic questions and answers, ensuring that misunderstandings were minimized. The Luminari shared stories of their struggles against the Voidborn, describing their desperate flight across galaxies. In return, the humans explained Earth's history, culture, and challenges, emphasizing their desire for peace. As the night wore on, Mia found herself drawn to one particular Luminari who seemed especially curious about human emotions. Using gestures and simplified language, she tried to explain concepts like joy, sadness, and hope. To her surprise, the being responded by projecting vivid images into her mind, scenes of lush forests, sparkling oceans, and vibrant cities. It was as if they were exchanging pieces of their souls. Meanwhile, Sam focused on logistics, helping coordinate efforts to provide shelter and resources for the Luminari. He worked closely with government officials, advocating for fairness and transparency. Jake, ever the jokester, attempted to lighten the mood by teaching the Luminari simple phrases in English, such as hello and thank you. Much to everyone's amusement, the aliens picked up the words quickly, their melodic voices adding an ethereal quality to the otherwise mundane greetings. By dawn, the initial meeting had concluded successfully. Exhausted but exhilarated, the kids returned to the facility with Mr. Carter. You did well, he told them as they removed their suits. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, not just for humanity, but for the universe. Sam smiled, faintly. It feels surreal, like we're part of something bigger than ourselves. Mia nodded. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad we decided to help, even if it means giving up our normal lives. Jake grinned. Yeah, normal is overrated anyway. Who needs school when you've got aliens to hang out with? Though they joked and laughed, there was a newfound seriousness in their eyes. They knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. Humanity was unpredictable, and not everyone would welcome the Luminari with open arms. But for now, they allowed themselves a moment of pride. In less than a month, 3 ordinary kids had gone from fixing a flat tire to becoming ambassadors of Earth. And as they gazed at the stars twinkling above, they knew their journey was only beginning. The days following the Luminari's arrival were a whirlwind of activity. Sam, Mia, and Jake found themselves at the center of a global phenomenon. News of the aliens' presence spread rapidly, sparking both awe and fear across the world. Governments held emergency meetings. Scientists scrambled to understand the Luminari's advanced technology, and ordinary people debated whether humanity was ready to share its planet with extraterrestrial beings. Amidst the chaos, the kids became symbols of hope, proof that kindness and curiosity could bridge even the widest divides. But fame wasn't something they had anticipated. Overnight, their faces appeared on television screens and newspapers. Worldwide, reporters camped outside the facility, desperate for interviews. Social media exploded with hashtags like our alien ambassadors and our Earth heroes. Some praised them as saviors. Others accused them of betraying humanity by welcoming outsiders. The pressure mounted, but Mr. Carter reminded them daily why they had chosen this path. This isn't about fame or glory, he told them one evening, as they sat in the facility's common area. It's about trust. You've been given a unique opportunity to shape the future, not just for yourselves, but for everyone on Earth. Sam nodded thoughtfully. I get that, but it's hard not to feel overwhelmed sometimes. Mia sighed, staring at her hands. What if we make a mistake? What if we say the wrong thing and ruin everything? Jake leaned back in his chair, trying to lighten the mood. Relax, guys. We're already awesome at this, besides, how bad can it really get? Mr. Carter chuckled softly. Don't underestimate the challenges ahead. Humanity is unpredictable, and not everyone will embrace the Luminari. But remember, your role is to inspire, to show others that coexistence is possible. As weeks turned into months, the kids settled into their new lives. They worked closely with the Luminari, learning more about their culture and sharing aspects of human life in return. The aliens proved to be gentle and wise, eager to teach as much as they wanted to learn. Together they collaborated on projects aimed at improving Earth's environment, using the Luminari's technology to purify polluted rivers, restore damaged ecosystems, and generate clean energy. One of the most remarkable collaborations involved creating a universal translator device. While the initial translation modules had been effective, they were bulky and limited in scope. With input from the kids who understood both human and Luminari perspectives, the team developed a sleek, handheld device capable of translating nearly any language instantly. It became a symbol of unity, distributed worldwide to promote understanding between humans and the Luminari. Despite the progress, tensions simmered beneath the surface. Not everyone welcomed the aliens with open arms. Protests erupted in cities around the globe, with groups demanding the Luminari leave Earth. Conspiracy theories flourished online, claiming the aliens had ulterior motives. Some governments refused to cooperate, viewing the Luminari's presence as a threat to national security. The kids faced these challenges head-on, traveling to different countries to speak with leaders and communities. Armed with patience and empathy, they shared their experiences and encouraged dialogue. In one particularly tense meeting with a skeptical government official, Mia recalled the moment she first saw the Luminari step out of their ship. They weren't monsters, she said softly. They were scared, just like us. They came here looking for safety, not conquest. Isn't that what we'd want if our roles were reversed? Her words resonated deeply, swaying the official to reconsider his stance. Slowly but surely, the kids began breaking down barriers, proving that compassion could overcome fear. Back at the facility, life took on a rhythm of its own. The kids grew closer to the Luminari, forming bonds that transcended species. Sam admired their commitment to sustainability, marveling at how effortlessly they lived in harmony with nature. Mia found solace in their peaceful demeanor, often spending hours exchanging thoughts and ideas through the translator device. Jake, ever the joker, delighted in teaching them human games and humor, earning bursts of melodic laughter in return. One evening, as they gathered near the holographic displays showing images of distant galaxies, one of the Luminari approached them. Its glowing patterns shifted, forming what the kids now recognized as a smile. Through the translator it spoke. You have done well, young ones. Your actions have brought light to dark places. For this, we are grateful. Sam grinned. We couldn't have done it without you. You've taught us so much. The Luminari tilted its head slightly, and yet there is still much to learn, for all of us. Perhaps one day you will join us among the stars. Mia's eyes widened. You mean, leave Earth? It is not necessary, the being replied, but the choice may come. Until then, continue to shine your light. The universe needs guardians like you. The kids exchanged glances, their hearts swelling with pride and purpose. Though they were still young, they felt a profound sense of responsibility, a calling to protect not just their own world, but the vast cosmos beyond. Months later, the Luminari announced their next move. Using Earth as a temporary base, they planned to launch a counterattack against the Voidborn, hoping to reclaim their homeworld and ensure the survival of their species. Before departing, they gifted humanity with a piece of their technology, a device capable of detecting hostile forces in space, giving Earth an early warning system should danger approach again. On the day of their departure, the kids stood alongside Mr. Carter and the rest of the team, watching as the silver ships ascended into the sky. The Luminari sent a final message through the translator devices. Thank you, Earth. Your courage has reignited our hope. May the stars guide you always. As the ships disappeared into the heavens, Tears streamed down Mia's face. Sam placed a comforting hand on her shoulder while Jake wiped his eyes quickly. "Well," Jake said, forcing a smile. "That was intense. What do we do now?" Sam looked up at the stars, his expression determined. "We keep going. There's still so much work to do, here and out there." Mia nodded, wiping her tears. "Yeah, who knows? Maybe one day we'll follow them." "Mr. Carter smiled warmly. "You've already proven yourselves capable of greatness. Whatever comes next, I have no doubt you'll rise to the occasion." And so, 3 ordinary kids who once helped a stranger with a flat tire became heroes of the cosmos. Their journey had transformed them, shaping them into ambassadors of hope and guardians of peace. Though the road ahead remained uncertain, they faced it with courage, knowing they were part of something far greater than themselves. Under the endless expanse of stars, Sam, Mia, and Jake vowed to never stop exploring, learning, and dreaming. After all, the universe was vast and full of possibilities waiting to be discovered.